Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in this video we are going to continue with our second episode on the crash course in aptitude section for Wipro NLTH examination. So if you have not watched our previous videos which are available on the channel, you can go check them out. There are many different videos which consist of concepts related to OOPS. We have also solved coding questions which have been asked in previous year Wipro NLTH examinations. So you can also look those videos and gain the knowledge about it. So let's get started with this video. So what are we talking about today? The topic is ratio and proportion as it is clear from the thumbnail. So let's get started. Now what is a ratio? Ratio is nothing but a comparison of two quantities, and these quantities should obviously be of the same type, which means that they should have similar units for comparison. So for example, you won't say that you want to compare length with weight. So the units are different for both of them, so you cannot compare them. So always remember that ratio is a comparison between two quantities and they should have similar units for comparison. So if we want to represent the ratio, how do we represent it? We represent it in the form of P by Q, or in this case A by B, where A and B are two numbers, and what A and B are called in terms of ratio. The term A will be called as antecedent and the second term B will be called as consequent. So for example, the ratio 3 is to 5 represents 3 by 5 with antecedent as 3 and consequent as 5. So these are the very ground basics which we are talking about right now, and it needs to be clear because the term antecedent and consequent are kind of the terms which are asked in the examination. So they won't directly talk about the numbers in the form of numerator or denominator. They will talk in these terms and students get confused whether which one is antecedent and which one is consequent, and they mess up. So that is why it is really important to have a clear understanding about what it is. So let's move on. Now the type of ratios which are important in from the exam point of view, those are the types which we are going to discuss here, and we will also come to know why are they important. So the first one which we are talking is duplicate ratio. What is it? The ratio of squares of two numbers is called as duplicate ratio of the two numbers. Now let's look at an example. 81 by 64 is the duplicate ratio of 9 by 8. So why is it the case? Because 81 is nothing but 9 square and 64 is nothing but 8 square. So as per the definition, the ratio of the squares of two numbers is called the duplicate ratio of the two numbers. In a similar manner, we have something called triplicate ratio, wherein there is the cube of two numbers, which is called as triplicate ratio of the two numbers. Let's look at an example. So 64 upon 125 is one of the examples, which is a triplicate ratio of 4 by 5. And how is that possible? Because 4 cube is nothing but 64 and 5 cube is nothing but 125. Now related to these two, we have other two which are nothing but the converse of these two, which is subduplicate ratio and subtriplicate ratio. Now what is subduplicate ratio? It is just the inverse of duplicate ratio. That's the easiest way you can remember it. So what is the example? We refer to the previous example wherein 9 by 8 is the subduplicate ratio of 9 square by 8 square, or 81 by 64. And in a similar manner, we have subtriplicate ratio as well. So it is nothing but the ratio of cube roots of two numbers, which is called as the subtriplicate ratio of two numbers. Now again, for an example, you can just write the opposite of triplicate ratio, which will be the similar example for subtriplicate ratio. So I hope these type of ratios are clear. I tried to make them in a very short and simple manner for you. So this is the type of ratios which you need to remember. Now we are not talking about the very basic types of ratios like the inverse ratio, because those are the things which you can figure out naturally by the name. So like P by Q will have an inverse Q by P, so you know that. So let's look at what is proportion. Now what is proportion? Proportion is nothing but the equality of two ratios. Now let's understand it in a better manner. So what we have here is a proportion. And what does this mean? We have A is to B as C is to D. That is the way which we pronounce it. And what does it mean? It just means that A by B is equal to C by D. In that case, we say A, B, C, and D are in proportion, and it is denoted in this manner. And what is the meaning of product of means and product of extremes? If you evaluate the ratio A by B equal to C by D, you will obtain a product like AD, which is equal to BC. So that is equal always. So product of means is always equal to product of extremes. So if any case you are given three of them, the fourth can be easily found. So consider you are given A, B, and C, and you have to find D. Consider you have been given A, C, and D, and you have to find B. So that is the relation which you should understand to find out the values of A, B, C, and D if required. So as I said, this is pronounced as A is to B, as C is to D, and each term is called as a proportional. So in exams, they won't directly say that you have to find this number or you have to find that number. They can say find the fourth proportional of the given ratio or find the third proportional of the given ratio. So in that particular manner the questions are asked. So you need to know what is a proportional. Proportional is nothing but each individual term of a proportion is called as a proportional. So in this case, as you can see, A is the first proportional, B is the second proportional, C is the third proportional, and D is the fourth proportional. So that is the basic of proportion and ratio. So I hope everything is clear by now. Now let's move forward and look at some more important things which you need to consider for your exams. The types of proportional, as we have already talked about types of ratios which are important, there are some type of proportionals which are also important, and we have named some of them already. So one of them is fourth proportional. What is fourth proportional? Fourth proportional is nothing but the fourth part of your given proportion. So if A is to B as C is to X is a proportion given to you, then X will be called the fourth proportional of A, B, and C. And how do you find X? That is the fourth proportional. This will be the standard formula. However, for an explanation, you can look at this example here. We have a problem and we have to find the fourth proportional of the number 2, 5, 4. So obviously we know that X will be the fourth proportional of this given proportion. So we can directly write this in a proportion form. So if you cannot remember the formulas, you should know how you can represent the particular proportion which we are talking about. So 2 is to 5 as 4 is to x is written in the form of fractions, and then we have evaluated it. So you can see that the formula b into c divided by a is going to be used in this first illustration which we have presented. Now let's look at what is a third proportional. If A is to B as B is to X is a given proportion, then X here is called as the third proportional of A and B. Now obviously, if we are talking about a proportion, there has to be four terms at least, and then as you can see here that A and B are already given, but B occurs twice, which means that the third term which remains in our proportion is nothing but the third proportional. So let's look at an illustration here. Before moving to the illustration, this is the formula for finding the third proportional because one term is occurring twice. So the evaluation of these two ratios when equated gives us this particular expression. So let's look at an example. We have to find a third proportional of the given number 2.5, 1.5, and let's assume that it is x. Then as per our equation, 2.5 is to 1.5 as 1.5 is to x. So we can simply see that the expression is provided to us and we have to just evaluate it. But you can see that 1.5 will occur twice on the numerator part, or it is called as an antecedent, and the second one is called as a consequent. So you can see that the formula x equals to b square upon a applies here as well because we had to find the third proportional. So always remember that we need to find the third proportional. For that the formula will be x equals to b square upon a, and if we have to find the fourth proportional, in that case the formula will be x equals to b into c upon a. Now you need to always figure out what is the value of b, a, or c based on the proportional which you have to find. Now let's look at some tips and tricks, and this is one of the tips and tricks which is very basic and you should know this one at least because there are many different type of questions which you can solve using these kind of tips and tricks. So what it is, the ratio between two numbers is a and b which is given to you. If x is added to each of these numbers, then the ratio becomes c is to d. Then what are the given two numbers? This is the question. You have to find the given two numbers to you, and a current ratio is given to you. You have to find the second ratio which is demanded, which is obtained by adding the number x to it. So how can you find it? The two numbers will be given by ax into c minus d upon ad minus bc and bx into c minus d upon ad minus bc. Now this is looking kind of a difficult formula, but it is not that difficult. To make it easier, you can also write this in the following manner. which is also equivalent to AX into C minus D upon ABCD, which is a matrix which you have to solve, because as per the 2 by 2 matrix formulas, you can solve it by evaluating it to AD minus BC. So in similar manner, the second value will be BX into C minus D upon ABCD, which is the matrix ABCD which we are talking about. So that has to be evaluated. Let's look at an example of the above theory which we read now. The ratio of two numbers is 5 is to 9. If each number is decreased by 5, the ratio becomes 5 is to 11. What are the numbers? So we have been given some options here, and I would like you to think about it. And also there is a trick which you need to guess if there is a decrease in the number or there is an increase in the number. That is the whole trick over which this problem could be solved. Because the problem which we saw right now, in that case what was happening is we were increasing the value, but in this example we are decreasing the value. So how do you solve it? Try to solve it, take a pause and try to solve it, and then we will meet again. Alright, so let's look at the explanation, and I will also tell you why it is so. So the two ratios which are given to us are A is to B and C is to D. So the ratio A is to B is 5 is to 9 and ratio C is to D is 5 is to 11, and the given value X is 5, which is the value that is going to be decreased from each number, due to which the ratio 5 is to 11 occurs. Now in this case, what you need to remember always is that whenever a number is decreased, then the difference which we are calculating in the numerator, that is D minus C or C minus D in the formula which we read right now. So in this case, what will be happening is whenever a value is getting decreased, the expression in the bracket becomes negative. So the expression here, as you can see in the explanation, is now D minus C and not C minus D. And the denominator still remains the same, wherein we are calculating the 2 by 2 matrix. So that is the only trick which you need to consider here. So always remember, every time a number is added to both the numbers to make a different kind of a ratio, then the ratio will be AX into C minus D upon AD minus BC. And if the number is getting decreased or some kind of number is getting subtracted from both the numbers, then in that case the ratio will be AX into C minus D upon AD minus BC. So the first number is calculated in that manner, and the second number is calculated by multiplying B into X. And as I mentioned that the number is getting decreased by 5, so the ratio has a negative, which is D minus C in this case, and the denominator still remains the same. So these two numbers are 15 and 27, which is the option number C. So I hope you got how we are solving these kind of problems. Now let's look at another tip and trick which we will be discussing here. If the ratio of two numbers is A is to B, then the number that should be added to each of the numbers in order to make this ratio C is to D is given by AD minus BC upon C minus D. And in a similar manner, if the ratio of the two numbers is A and B, and the number that should be subtracted from each of the numbers in order to make the ratio C by D, it is given by BC minus AD upon C minus D. Now the proof for both of them is available. Now as you can see, for AD minus BC upon C minus D, what is the proof? We want to add some value to both the numbers. If we are doing so, in that case, on simplification of our equation, as you can see that the value X becomes AD minus BC upon C minus D. In a similar manner, for BC minus AD upon C minus D, how did we come at this solution? If we decrease a number from the given ratio from numerator and denominator, in that case the expression which we get is AD minus XD, which is equal to BC minus XC, and on further evaluation X becomes BC minus AD upon C minus D. So let's look at an example. So what we want to do is find the number that must be added to the terms 11 is to 29 to make it equal to 11 is to 20. Now as per the formulas which we read right now, which formula has to be used depends on the value which is getting either added or subtracted. If the value is getting added, we know that we will be using AD minus BC upon C minus D, and if the value is getting subtracted, then we will use BC minus AD upon C minus D. So the ratio here is given to us, which is 11 is to 29, which will be A is to B obviously, and C is to D will be 11 is to 20. So this is going to be self-explanatory for everybody, but what is important is you never mess up with the values of A, B, C and D, because if you know that the ratio first comes is 11 is to 29, then it is for sure A is to B, and the ratio 11 is to 20 is going to be C is to D. That is one thing which should be clear at the initial stage. Now let's look at what we want. Required number, that is the number x which we want to search, is given by the formula, and we are simply putting these values in the formula. Again, AD minus BC is nothing but solving the matrix, and the value C minus D is still the same. So putting the values in the equation, we get the value 11. So 11 will be the number which, when added to the term, makes the ratio 11 is to 29 change to 11 is to 20. So that is the two tips and tricks which are sufficient for solving the problems on ratios and proportion. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and also join our Telegram channel for all the updates on our latest videos and the different kind of quizzes which we conduct on our channel every day. So you can go subscribe to our Telegram channels as well. All the links are available in the description box below. And that's it from my side. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, make sure to subscribe, and as always, keep learning.